event. My name is Anna Mari, and I'm your host as usual. Today, we're going to be talking about New Zealand-made CRM for small businesses. So this is a really great topic for all of us because a lot of our businesses are mom and pop or one-man bands, and we might not need a huge platform to handle our CRM or our customer relationship management system. Yeah. So we've got George Hampton here from Exsalerate, and he's going to be showcasing this New Zealand made product for us. We can ask questions, and so do feel free to pop your questions in the Q&A section, the comment section, if you're chat function, depending on what platform you're joining us on. It might be YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or here with us on Zoom. So if you're with us on Zoom, just remember you should receive a link to this recording, follow-up email, like a thank you email. And you can find all of the past recordings we've run to date since the middle of January this year. On the main dashboard, scroll down, there's an in case you missed it section, because I know we've got lots of new registrants and we always like to make sure that you can get your hands on the information you're looking for. Now, if you're with Facebook, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or any of our other platforms and you haven't registered to Digital Boost, you should, because we have competitions and offers, and there's lots of other content styles of learning, like bite-sized content, 2 to 5 minute videos that you can kind of munch on and start to take your business to the next level. So you can register at digitalboost.co.nz. Why not? You should do it. George, thanks so much for joining us today. We're really appreciative of having you on.
Yeah, hey, thanks so much for having me, Anna Mari. It's great to be here and good to see we've got a good audience in for today's session. So look, I thought, let's talk about Exsalerate. So a little bit of background. We're a New Zealand company, born and bred. We actually had come out of a parent company. And the reason that Exsalerate was born was we were looking for a simple tool. We couldn't find one. This is way back in 2012, and we decided, heck, let's just build our own. And so, fast forward to 2021, here we are. And we are sort of tightly integrated with Xero because, Xero is obviously a great platform for small business. And we're quite customizable, really. The tool should give you the ability to sort of configure it to suit your own sales process and really keep track of new inquiries right through their lifetime journey to existing customers.
Yeah, cool. Well, we're excited to see what it has to offer, and we're also excited to hear about you're going to delve into some of your frequently asked questions that you have. Folks are going to be popping in their questions as well. And that's really good information for us, because having a CRM or managing your customer relationship is so important in small business or in any business in order for us to grow. So I'm going to turn off my video now and let you kind of drive. And maybe, for some folks, they don't know what CRM even stands for. I've kind of said it a few times now, but maybe just explaining, why it's important and things like that would be really, really advantageous for all of us.
Yeah, awesome. So I'll just share my screen. Okay. So yeah, CRM. So it's kind of one of those words that is almost a bit of a, I suppose, a dirty word for some people, because they might have had experience with other systems that are really clunky, or you might even be using an Excel spreadsheet as a CRM, which actually is probably still our biggest competitor. And the thing with using tools like Excel or that kind of thing is one, you've got to sort of constantly update them. You've always got to put in some data entry, and it's really easy for client lists and contact lists to sort of get out of date. And I guess the challenge with any CRM is it's got to be really easy to use and integrate in the right places so that we do things like reduce data entry. And so one of the things that we've sort of developed is, contact forms on your website. We can have those sync up to the CRM so that when someone inquires online and hits your contact us page, they can come into your Exsalerate pipeline as a new lead along with all of their contact details. So really, trying to sort of reduce the amount of data entry that you need to do, but also giving you and your team really a single source of truth, as in all of the touch points you've had with your customers, all of the steps that you need to do to win their business, and so that you can really keep track of where everyone is in your sales pipeline, but also once they turn into an existing customer, making sure that you're nurturing their relationship and keeping in touch with them regularly to sort of maintain their business. Now, Exsalerate is sort of, I guess, predominantly focused for B2B companies, but we also have a lot of companies that are business to consumer that use our tool as well. So what I might do is I'll just sort of work through some of our key dashboards, and I think that's going to explain a few things as we're going of what Exsalerate does, and why keeping track of customer relationships or touch points are really important. And I'll kind of go through some of our key features and frequently asked questions as we're going along too, as well as show you guys some of the integrations we've got that really help save time. So first off, what we're looking at here is a pipeline for new business. Now in Exsalerate, you can customize these headings so that they sort of match the different stages of your sales process. You might not even have a sales process, and that's totally fine. You can sign up to Exsalerate and it comes with what you're seeing on screen built in, which is, I guess, a standard sort of sales process. But really, you can configure these headings to suit your language. And the idea is that, once we've actually got a lead in the pipeline, it's just a nice, simple drag and drop to progress those leads through the different stages there. One of the other important things, to sort of, and I hear it all the time, is people say that they lose leads because they forget to, just forget to call people back, or there's so much going on that they've forgotten, or just it's just slipped through the cracks because of lack of follow-up. And so one of the features with Exsalerate is in the bottom right-hand corner here of each of these leads that are in my pipeline, there's a little icon that actually opens up the next activity that's planned to follow up and win the business. So, you can click on that icon to see what you're doing next, but also it's color-coded, and so that at a glance, you can see what you've got to do today. Now, we also have a to-do list, which I'll show you as well, but basically the color coding here in the bottom right-hand corner is any of these green ones means that there's something on my to-do list today to follow up and try and win that business. If that link is blue, it means you've got something planned for the future. So it could be tomorrow, or it could be in 5 years' time. There's something planned in the future to follow up. If that link turns red, it means that activity is now overdue. But probably the most important one is if you see a caution sign, what that's telling us is that your team or there's nothing on your to-do list planned to follow up and try and win that business. So obviously, I've got someone over here that we're sort of in the presenting stage. It's worth $5,000, but there's nothing planned to follow up. So yeah, that little icon in the bottom right-hand corner, it's really useful. And inside each of these activities, you can sort of click in, and there's a bit of a running commentary of notes that you've put in previously. So, it just helps you to continue the conversation where you left off, and yeah, really kind of, I guess, carry on and make sure that you're meeting that potential leads needs. Now, the other thing that you can notice on my pipeline here is I've got some blue tiles, orange tiles, and red tiles. Now, I just want to explain what this means. And it's really important, because what this is showing us is the leads that are in my pipeline that have sort of been left to rot, as in, they're not progressing through the pipeline in the expected timeframes. So you might say, if we get a new lead, we should move them into contact made within 7 days, for example, or maybe even 2 days, whatever you decide. And what will happen is if it gets stuck there and it's not moved from here to here, it's going to change color and go orange, and then eventually red if it's stuck. So think of it sort of like rotting fruit. It's just kind of showing you those leads that aren't progressing through in the expected time frame. The other useful thing that we can do is we can put in estimated values of what each lead is worth. And, it's just a matter of just clicking on the dollar sign there, and you can put that in. Also, it's worth noting, if you do have different products or services, you can define that revenue stream. And this helps for later on, because what we can actually do is we can start forecasting on expected revenue and sort of see what new business we've got coming up. So we have a filter here that we can pop on. And what we can actually do is, instead of grouping the pipeline by stage in my sales process, I can group them by closing period. And this, again, is just a great way of making sure that nothing's slipping through the cracks, because I can see in September here again, I'm expecting to close this deal. It's worth $5,000, but there's no future activity planned. So, it's just, again, a nice way to make sure that, hey, are we following up on these leads? Are we doing the things that we said we'd do to win their business? So yeah, it's quite a sort of, I guess, a visual tool, and the drag and drop interface is really useful. If you win a lead, you can drag and drop it down here, or if you lose it, you can drag and drop it down to the bottom there. If it does go into the lost box, you can put in a lost reason, which also flows through to reporting. So you can, anything that we're putting into the CRM, we can report on to sort of start giving us some better insights and help to sort of drive decision-making going forward when you're sort of scaling up the business. So yeah, so that is a little bit on how the pipeline works. Now, for those of you that maybe have a bigger team, we can also do things like filter the pipeline by particular team members, so that and from their perspective, they might not see the whole company's pipeline, just what they're working on. And it means that, when you're doing one-on-ones with your sales team, you can sort of give them the support or help sort of manage that particular person better. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of filters that you can apply here. We can view the pipeline by region, by industry, or by product or service that your potential customer is interested in. So yeah, that's a little bit about new leads. Now, one of the there's a number of ways, obviously, that we can get new leads in the pipeline. We can add them in manually. As I mentioned, we can create them via contact forms. But another way that we can get leads into the system is actually via Outlook or Gmail. And so obviously, using email, everyone's in their inbox every day. But what we can do is, if you are emailing a new person, sorry, I'm just coming up with a random email address here. What you can do is you can actually create them inside your Exsalerate pipeline using this, this add-on on the right-hand side, which is available on the Outlook store. And so this is like a really quick way to get someone into your Exsalerate pipeline right from your Outlook account. So yeah, I've just created Tesco Inc. here, and if I refresh my page, we will see that sitting now in my pipeline as a new lead, along with the contact I just created. So yeah, really easy to get stuff in. Also on the email integration, it does mean, if you are emailing someone who is already inside your Exsalerate account, it means that we can automatically find the company that they belong to, and we can automatically save the type of email you're sending. So it could be a quote that you're sending, for example. But the other really neat thing from that you can do from Outlook is we can also put a follow-up activity on your to-do list in Exsalerate, so you're reminded to actually follow up on the email you've just sent. So yeah, look, this is a really neat way to save a whole bunch of time and actually make sure that, when you are working from your inbox, it's syncing across to the CRM. So yeah, really, really useful tool and integration to have there. Also, it's probably worth noting too that meetings and things like that you can create in Outlook or Gmail can come back to Exsalerate as well, and all of that stuff logs against the company's profile. So what I thought I'd do now is I'll just quickly jump into a company profile to show you what that looks like. So we've got this fictitious Acme Corp company here, and what we can see first off is really useful information about the company. So we've got things like, company phone numbers, addresses, whatever that sort of thing is. But over here on the right-hand side, first off, we show you the lifetime value to your business. Now, how we get this figure is it's based off the invoices created in Xero, and we display that front and center on the company profile. What the graphs are showing us is, again, based on some data out of Xero. So we've got a month-to-date comparative, a year-to-date comparative, and a 12-month comparative, so that you and your team can quickly identify, hey, is this company spending more or less with us when compared to the same period last year? And so, this is really powerful information to have, because it helps you and your team, instead of maybe being reactive to stuff, is actually be a little proactive. And straight away here, I can see that Acme Corp spend has decreased over the financial year and the last 12 months. So, maybe I could find out in my next conversation with someone from Acme Corp, why. The other useful thing here is we've got this pie graph, and what this is telling us is, based on their lifetime value, what have we actually invoiced them for? And this information, again, we're getting out of Xero, so you don't need to do anything other than have Xero connected to Exsalerate to get this data in. All right, so then again, looking at Acme Corp here, we've got all of the activities that have been happening. So as I said before, we're logging emails that you've sent, we're logging notes from your follow-ups and your phone calls and your meetings. So all of those notes are saving against the company's profile. And so it means that you or anyone from your team can come in and quickly see, a note that was maybe made by someone else. We can search activities by keyword. And so, all of this becomes searchable and reportable as well. And it just means that, you've got that single source of truth, which includes emails, so that you can see what's been going on with your customers. And really, I guess this is what, enables you to manage that customer relationship better by having all of the information on one page. There's a couple of other useful things that we can do. So things like documents or attachments on your emails, they will also come into this documents tab here. And it means that, if you have, say, a quote number or a job number or what have you, it becomes searchable in Exsalerate, but it also files against that company profile. So that's coming directly from the Outlook or Gmail integrations that we've got. And it just is, I guess, a little bit of a light document storage option. In terms of a Xero integration, so all of your Xero invoices live over here under this invoice tab. And this link here will actually take you straight into Xero, and you can see I've got my Xero login there. Now, if your team don't have a Xero login, they're not going to get past this page. But if you do have a Xero login, it's going to take you directly into that particular invoice. The other thing that is sort of helps to save a little bit of time is we can even get your team to create draft invoices ready for approval in Xero. So let's just say you've just won a new lead, they don't exist in your Xero account yet. You can click a button and that's going to create the company inside your Xero file. And then your team can create a draft invoice. So instead of having to sort of, manually enter the company information in Exsalerate and then manually enter it in Xero, that's all done via the API, and it just, again, saves time. This draft invoice feature here will again, save time. You can have your different, products and services and things in there. And basically, as soon as you hit save on that, that's going to go over to Xero, ready for approval. Again, a nice little time saver there. And as soon as that invoice is then issued, would then start to see it coming through in the lifetime value and features there as well. Okay, and then so one other thing that I just want to point out is let's just say that Acme Corp here is an extremely valued customer of mine, and we do a lot of repeat work and business with them. What we can actually see down here is all of the different opportunities that I've got on with Acme Corp in one place. So if I've got lots of quotes out for Acme Corp, I can see where all those different opportunities are. The logic's the same. I can drag and drop and I can move things around here. There's a link to my next activity and I can see the estimated value. Okay, so that's the company profile there. Now, the next page that I sort of want to show everyone is what we call the account management dashboard. But I'm just going to quickly check a couple of questions. So Ian's just asked, will this integrate with MYOB too? No, unfortunately not at the minute. We don't have an MYOB integration, but we are looking at building that out in the future. We can still import sales data as well from MYOB. So we have another number of customers that are doing that at the minute. And it isn't too much of a process to actually get that data in. All right. Okay, so I'm just checking a couple of questions here, but at the same time, I am opening this account management.
I kind of felt like you were on a roll, so I didn't want to like interrupt you, but if you want to address them, we can. There's another question from Neil that says, how long are completed sales records kept for in the system?
Yeah, so they stay in the system forever. They don't disappear. And it actually means, even if you've been on something prior to Xero, maybe you've had an ERP system, we can import historic data from that system into Exsalerate so that those lifetime values are more meaningful. All right.
Great. It's just raining so hard here. I'm just muting myself a lot. So
no, that's cool. Jump in and interrupt me if something comes up, Anna Marie, that would be awesome. Okay, so yeah, this account management dashboard. So we realized that, well, the whole reason we built this is because we wanted to have a simple way to view how long it's been since you last contacted or last invoiced key customers. Because, in order to retain someone's business, you need to be communicating with them regularly, because if they're not talking to you, they're probably talking to the competition. And we wanted to build something that was really easy so that management and account managers can just come in and quickly see who they need to give attention to. So let me just explain how this works first. So anybody that you haven't contacted contacted or invoiced, depending on the view you've got set here, I'm on the last contacted view. So anybody that I haven't contacted for 3 months or more is over on the left-hand side of the page, 2 to 3 months, last month and this month. Now, we have those same comparative figures coming out via Xero. So there's a month-to-date comparative, a year-to-date, and the 12-month, along with the product share comparative there. We've got the lifetime value, but importantly, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we've got the last activity that was logged against that customer. So for Lightning Consulting, it's been 174 days since we were last in touch. Now for ABX Trade Supply, I can quickly see that the year-to-date and their 12-month comparative is down. It's been 190 days since we were last in touch, and considering they've spent nearly $40,000 with us, I would, as an account manager, want to, get in touch, and even if I was management, I would want my account manager to get in touch with that company. So there's again, that's a link to the last activity that was put inside Exsalerate. Now it could be an email that we've captured from Outlook, or it could be notes from a meeting, or it could be just an activity that's been entered manually. That last link is telling us what that is. The next link here has the same logic as the pipeline. So if you've got something on your to-do list today, that little next link is green. If there's something planned for the future, that next link is blue. But importantly, if there's nothing planned, we show a caution sign there, and that's telling us that there's nothing planned on our to-do list to maintain contact with that particular company. So much like the pipeline, what you can do is you can click on that next link, and you could put in something like an account management call. And you might want to say, that it's every, let's just say 6 weeks, that there's something on the to-do list there. And very quickly you can start to create a call cycle so that you're prompted on your to-do list to regularly maintain contact with that company. So yeah, you can see now that I've created that, we've got that caution signs disappeared, and I can see the phone icon there. Now, it's also important to know how long it's been since you last sent someone an invoice, because you might have a great relationship with someone, you're in contact with them all the time, but unless you're inside Xero, or unless you're sort of across it, you might not actually know. And so you can view, again, the same data by last invoice, and it's going to load up and pop everything into that same view there. So quickly I can see Acme Corp, it's been more than 3 months since we've sent them an invoice, whereas on the right-hand side, I can see the companies we've invoiced this month. Now, if you've got hundreds and hundreds of customers, obviously, you can scroll down and you can keep going, but what we can do as well is we can start to apply some filters so that, you're just looking at maybe a key segment. We could just say, look at all of your A-ranked customers, or we might want to just have a look at all of your customers in a particular industry or region. So, yeah, don't be put off if you've got lots and lots of customers here, because we can reduce this down to just that particular segment. And one of the other things that we can do as well is filter by the product or service that someone's using, because this does help to identify companies that may be using these 2 products and services but not this one. And so it does help the team to identify cross-selling opportunities as well. Furthermore, we can filter by particular staff members as well. And another one that I quite like is we can filter by whether there's an activity planned or not. So, if you quickly want to bring up all of your customers with no future touch point planned, we can do that by clicking that no option there, and that shows me all of my customers with no future activity planned. So yeah, that's a bit about the account management dashboard. I mean, I guess it is a little bit unique to Exsalerate in terms of what we've built here, but hopefully you can see the value in that. And if you do sign up for Exsalerate, you can import all of your data straight away from Xero, and this dashboard will start populating. All right, so there's one other page I'd sort of like to show everyone, if that's all right.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Thank you so much.
Cool. Okay, so sitting between the pipeline and of new business and then your existing customers, what we have is a to-do list. And so again, we've gone with the sort of drag and drop functionality to help you quickly reorganize your day. So all of your activities and reminders and follow-ups and things are here. We can filter by different staff members as well. So if you manage a team, you can, or if someone's away, you can see what their to-dos were for today. And again, yeah, it's drag and drop, and you can move things around. Also note that the color coding here follows the same logic as everything else. So, overdues are red, today is green, future is blue. And we have obviously notes that were put in last time. And one of the things actually that's important is when, if you complete an activity in Exsalerate, we're always asking you if you want to create that future touch point, because having something planned in the future is obviously, helps to nurture and maintain that customer relationship. So yeah, the to-do list is pretty self-explanatory, really, but also a great way to sort of, come in the morning and work from that. All right, now we also have a whole bunch of reports, so we can report on, what your team's been up to. We can report on what your conversions are, how your pipeline's going. So yeah, there's a lot of different options in terms of reports there that we can produce for you. Basically, the rule is anything that goes into Exsalerate, we can pull out and sort of help to, I guess, drive some better, better decision making. Actually, one of the reports that I just want to highlight as well is one that we call the Customer Love Report. Now, it's a bit of a funny name, really, but what we're trying to do with this report is to show you the number of touch points you're having with your customers versus what they're spending. So if you just appreciate for a second, this is a bit of a fictitious account, but in this example here, I can see, okay, TrueBooks, we've had 4 meetings, we've sent no emails, 1 phone call for, X number of dollars in revenue in that time period. So it does kind of give you, a bit of an idea of cost to serve as well, which is something interesting that I thought I'd highlight for you. Okay. We also have a mobile app too, and the mobile app is obviously you can access while you're out and about. I can sort of show you really quickly what it looks like. I'm sort of cheating a little bit because this is supposed to be working on a mobile phone, but if you imagine this is a gigantic iPhone for a second, you can see your to-do list inside here as well on your phone. So when you're out and about, you can quickly see what you discussed last time and add notes in as you're going. And we do have some cool features too, sort of utilizing mobile functionality. I'm just going to cheat here again as well, where we can, show you on a map where your different customers are. You can open Google Maps and get directions to that particular location if you like. So yeah, quite useful when you're out and about too to see who's around. Now on the mobile app, we don't have the drag and drop dashboards and the pipelines and things because there's just not enough room, but you can still add notes and add leads and things on the mobile, and that syncs back to the desktop as well. All right, so I thought perhaps if someone has some questions or would like to ask anything about Exsalerate, we can jump into that.
Yeah, this has been a really comprehensive little walkthrough, which has been quite good because I think a lot of times we talk about customer management, but we don't see how it actually works or how we could, what kind of things are available. So this is quite good to just have a little bit of a walkthrough, and obviously it's designed for small businesses, which is fantastic. Yeah, and we'll just waffle on here for a minute and let people type in some questions. But I think sometimes when you do a walkthrough, there's not as many questions because they kind of can see what's happening. But did you mention, is there a trial period with Exsalerate?
Yeah, so there's a 14-day trial period. You don't have to put in any credit card or anything like that. So yeah, you can try it for free 14 days. Sign up on our website, which is just exsalerate.com, or and Exsalerate's a bit of a funny spelling, but it's it's available on obviously your details or your page there as well.
So question from Neil, can you assign different people to tasks?
Yeah, absolutely. So any task, or using our language, activity, you can assign to someone else in the team. And what that does is obviously it pops it on their to-do list, but it also will send an automated email letting them know that you've assigned them an activity. And inside that email, there's even a hyperlink that you can click and it will take you directly into the right place in Exsalerate too.
Oh, nice. That's always handy. Second question here is training courses cost in class or one-on-one? Thank you.
Yeah, so we have training available. So Exsalerate runs off a subscription model. We advertise in US dollars just because we have companies all over the world using us. So around about 35 New Zealand dollars per user per month.
Is that US dollars?
Sorry, 24 US.
Oh, okay, thanks. No, just that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so around about this per user per month. And you can as well, if you want to, you can pay annually, and that saves 20% as well. Things like training, we have got help videos. We can do one-on-one training with you, but that is at an additional cost.
Mm-hmm. Now with the subscription, so you're saying it's a monthly subscription, so you can kind of cancel at any time, like there's no commitment?
That's right. Yep. Unless you pay for the annual subscription, then obviously you've paid up front for 12
Yeah.
months. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure there's like some terms and conditions that go along with that you could discuss on an individual basis. No, that's great, because I think as small businesses, especially with the way business is right now, we want to be able to, we maybe some folks might be a little bit like nervous to lock into something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's always good. I'm a shocker with my gym membership. That's how I am with my gym, because I just get lazy.
Yeah, we just try and keep it simple.
Yeah.
So you can pay month to month. And also it's worth noting that we do have chat support. So no matter what subscription you're on, you can chat to the team, and we give a typical response time there as well. Also keep in mind we do have customers all over the world, and we do have to sleep at some point. So
Yes.
we're usually faster than what you'll see on screen there to write back to you.
Cool. So another question here is, one of my main considerations for a CRM is data security. What can you tell me about Exsalerate data security measures? Plus, is your server NZ based? Thanks, Karen. Great question.
Yeah, good question. So data security is really important to us, and obviously we're as a data processor, we're in charge of sensitive data. So we've got really modern security practices in place. We've got things that are I guess the data is at rest is hashed, so it's sort of encoded. I'm not a developer. I can't tell you too much about the exact protocols and measures that we use, but it is really modern, and being integrated with Xero as well. We have to pass various security audits.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that would make sense because it's all tied to financial kind of aspects there. And then the second part of that question was your servers. Where are your servers based?
Yeah, so servers are in New Zealand. So we do have
great.
Space here. And we do have sort of for disaster recovery and things like that, there are multiple locations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Because we've been talking about that a little bit. We had a little chat last Friday, I believe, with Peter from Atom Jump, and we were just talking about where your server's based and if everything's based over here and then that goes down, how do you manage that? So that's really cool. Great question. Thanks for putting that in. I've just jumped over to the other platforms. I'm just checking out and see if there's any questions there. I'm not seeing any so far, so I think we're kind of good on that front. Yeah, and maybe that might be it for us today. That might be all the questions that we have, which is great. And I'm sure is our contact, the easiest way to speak with somebody, just go to the website Exsalerate and
yeah, so go to the website. So it's exsalerate.com, and you can chat with us from on the outside of the website as well. Mm-hmm. Also, that's where you can sign up for a free trial, and feel free to have a look around.
Yeah, thanks so much. Look, we're a lot of people here in NZ are really conscious about sticking with NZ brands and NZ companies, and I'm really grateful that you've taken the time out of your day to come on and share with us this NZ made platform, and and the integrations that it has with Xero, which is pretty convenient. And I guess we'll leave it all to you, DBers, to have a look for yourself and make choices for yourself that work for you and your business. And thank you so much for your time today, George. We really appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, and thanks everyone for attending this morning.
It's our pleasure. And have a wonderful day, everyone. Ka kite, stay dry if you're somewhere where it's as wet as it is here.